Hi, it's Steph, and this evening I'm going to take care of cleaning up this left side front flower border. The front border is primarily made up of daylilies, and now that they're done blooming, I cannot wait to clean this bed out. The foliage has looked terrible for weeks now. It looks very burnt and just browning, and so I'm going to give this a good old-fashioned cleanup. I'm going to take some plants out of here that I no longer want in this bed, and I'm going to make room along the front to plant some annuals that I started from seed for some fall interest. All right, we've been at this for just about an hour now, and I got a good amount done. While I was at it, I decided that I was going to dig up some coneflowers. These in this corner here always got really tall because they were always reaching for light, and they would end up flopping all over the place anytime we got the slightest breeze, and we get a lot of wind here. So I decided I have a ton of baby seedlings coming up from those coneflowers. I started those from seed a couple of years ago. They're the Echinacea purpurea, the traditional purple coneflower, and they are prolific self-seeders in my garden. So I have a ton of seedlings, and before they got any more aggressive or invasive, I decided that I was just going to dig them up and get rid of them before they had a chance to drop more seed. And what I'm going to do is I have some daisies that are behind my knockout roses that I'm going to move into that spot. I'm trying to create a color scheme of just pink, purple, and white. So that's what I decided on tonight, and that's what I'm doing. The next thing that I'm going to do is make dinner because these people I live with told me they're hungry and it's just about that time. So I'm gonna go ahead and fix something to eat, and then we'll get back to work. Here underneath my deck steps, I have some onions that I grew from seed this year drying out. The variety is Yellow of Parma, and they're quite small, but I'm actually really proud of these because this was the first year that I was successful with growing onions from seed. So I'm going to use this onion to go ahead and make a cucumber tomato salad for dinner. Welcome to my kitchen. So beside gardening, I really enjoy cooking, and I thought that I would show you what I'm making for dinner tonight. Feel free to fast forward if you're not interested, but I'm just making a baked haddock with some rice and a quick salad, cucumber, tomato, some onion from the garden, and hopefully I can have this on the table in a half hour so we can get back to working outside. I got all of these cherry tomatoes from my garden this week. This is a chocolate cherry tomato. They're delicious. And a couple of these big cherry red mixed in. Just gonna give these a rinse. And I have a half a cucumber left over from last night, so we're gonna use that in our salad. So in this easy salad, it's just a mix of cucumbers, some cherry tomatoes, some onion, salt, black pepper, olive oil, and vinegar. Really simple ingredients that most people have on hand. And I'm starting with the salad so it has time to sit in the oil and vinegar while the rest of the dinner cooks. I'm actually just going to half these. This is a meal that's pretty quick to whip up because the fish is so quick cooking. It takes no time at all. And because we live in the country, it would take about 15-20 minutes to get anywhere to pick up dinner. So by the time that we drive out, pick something up, and come home with it, I could have just made a meal. So sometimes I'm tired and I prefer takeout, but I definitely do a lot of cooking. Okay, so we have our cucumber and our tomatoes in there, and now I'm going to clean up this onion and throw that in. Give that a stir. You want to season it. Salt and black pepper is all I use. Some red wine vinegar. No measurements, I just, do it by eye. Some extra virgin olive oil. Stir to combine, and your salad is done. So now you just let it sit while you cook the rest of your dinner. You can put it in the refrigerator or you can leave it out at room temp. I prefer it at room temp. It's only going to be about 30 minutes, so that should be good. I picked up this haddock today. It was fresh haddock fillet from the grocery store. So I'm just going to rinse it, and then we'll season it and get it cooking. I rinsed my fish with cool water and I'm just patting out the excess moisture. In the bottom of my baking dish, a little bit of olive oil. And I'm going to season it. Add a little more olive oil on top. Just going to brush it in. And to season it, really simple. I'm just going to use some black pepper, some garlic powder, a little bit of this Old Bay seasoning, which is typical for seafood. And I'm not going to put sodium. I'm not going to add additional sodium in the form of salt because this already has sodium. And I really like this Trader Joe's 21 seasoning salute. So these are the 4 seasonings that I'm gonna add to my haddock. Then I'm gonna bake it at 400 for about 20 minutes. And then I'll take it out. I'm gonna squeeze some lemon on it, throw the stuffing on, and let it go under the broiler for a couple more minutes, maybe 5 minutes or so. This 21 seasoning salute has a bunch of different ingredients in it. It has onion, black pepper, celery seed, cayenne pepper, like a ton of different things. So really you could just use this and it would probably be just fine. And that's all she wrote. While that cooks, I'm going to prepare some of this Near East rice pilaf, and we'll have that with the salad. This is my favorite sous chef, Rocco. He likes to hang out in the kitchen when I'm cooking and hopes that I'll drop something for him to taste test. But he likes to get in the trash, so we had to put an alarm on it so that he won't go in. It kind of deters them, so I guess it works. Looking good. So I'm just gonna drain off some of this excess liquid and give it a squeeze of lemon and throw on my stuffing. This is just some seafood stuffing that I bought at the seafood counter at the grocery store. And I'm gonna go ahead and just add some. It's a little crumbly, but it's delicious. And then you just put it back in the oven with your broiler on low for about 5 minutes, just until it starts getting nice and golden. So dinner is done and I have about 30 minutes of sunlight left to get this work done. So this is the spot where I had that purple coneflower, Echinacea purpurea, that I pulled out. If I wanted to have them in the garden again, I have that one that I'm keeping that I could always divide, and I have a ton of seedlings because they are such prolific reseeders. But my plan is just to let this blue globe thistle that I grew from seed last year sort of fill out that space, because I really enjoyed this flower, but it was really blocked by the coneflower. And then these daisies that I have behind the knockout, I'm gonna scoot right here. So I'll have the purple, the white, and then the pink with the knockout. And I think it'll look really nice. I have a bunch of seedlings of that purple coneflower. Look at that. There's some right here, and a bunch more here and there. So I don't feel too badly about yanking them out. That's the beauty of gardening. You can always take things out, pass them along, move them to another spot, and keep moving your beds until you're happy with how they look. So let's get back to the cleanup. I just took out this sunflower because it was supposed to be a variety called Italian White. So it was supposed to be a really creamy white with maybe a tint of a yellow, sort of like that one there. But as you can see, it's bright yellow. And while it is blooming, it's just kind of clashing in this area and your eye goes right to it. So I decided to just take it out. We're running out of light quick, but I'm determined to get these in the ground. These are some marigolds that I started in maybe late spring, early summer, and they are dying to get out of these containers. This is the Kilimanjaro White Marigold from Baker Creek, and I think that these will look really nice in the front of the border as we transition into fall. So we're expecting to get some rain overnight. We've been really dry, so I'm really excited about the rain that we're getting, and I thought that it would be the perfect opportunity to get these in the ground. And I'm also really happy with being able to have cleaned up all of this dead foliage that we had from the daylilies and the iris. It really needed it. So I still have some weeding to do in this bed, and I need to turn over the mulch some, but I think that this is a really good place to be, at least to wrap up the night. It is August 15th, and I just wanted to take some footage of my thrift that I planted a couple months ago now. It's still sending up a sporadic bloom here and there. There's another one here. There's a bloom bud there and there. But for the most part, they are pretty much done. That one doesn't have any blooms, and neither do any of the others. Actually, these are the only two that I still have a couple of blooms coming up. But the foliage still looks mostly good, considering we've had a really hot and dry summer. Well, I'm going to work on getting the rest of these marigolds planted along the edge here, and hopefully in a couple of weeks I can give you an update on what they look like. And I did include a little bit of a cooking segment in tonight's video because I had to stop and make dinner. So if that's something that you like, let me know, comment below. I do plan on making a couple more recipes when I start harvesting some vegetables from my garden. And so if that's something you like, I'd love to hear about it. So thanks for hanging out with me tonight, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, please hit the thumbs up button. And please consider subscribing so you don't miss any of my future videos. And we'll see you soon.